Alright, so I'm making this video just because I had a tough time finding something on the internet, and I have used bits and pieces of other people's posts to figure out how to do this. So what I've done already, and you probably can't see it right now, but I've converted my entire dash. I've converted that over to all blue LEDs. I gotta say thank you to Circuit Board Medics. I highly recommend them. They not only do your dash cluster with the LEDs, they also do the radio, they do the climate control, they also do your light switches, your 4x4 switches as well. This is on a 2007 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD, but it'll work for most 2003 to 2007 or 8 styles. So what I did, I also sent them my steering wheel control buttons, and the top parts are very easy to get to. Again, you use a flat blade screwdriver, you can pull them out fairly easily, unlock the locking tab for the wiring harness behind it, and then they just come right out. The trouble is the bottom ones here. They're a little bit smaller. There's not enough room in there for you to be able to get a pair of pliers in there. Although, even though this is a spongy, fairly spongy rubber insert, you can't really get it out enough to put the buttons back in. So what I did was, again, looking at the various videos, what I did here is, and you can go online, you want to make sure that you're safe in doing the proper step-by-step instructions on how to remove your airbag. As you can see, it's already out. But what I did is I took the airbag and I removed that. And then what I did, because GM has wired this, and you can see the wires here. Okay, this one goes to the right side, and this harness on this side here goes to the left. And you have top and you have bottom. The problem is when the GM factory wiring, which comes off of this connector here, they actually put it behind this metal plate and underneath. And that's what made these lines shorter and harder to put back together, because they didn't come out far enough. So what I did, and hopefully this helps anybody out there, what I did is I followed the proper removal instructions for the airbag so we don't have it exploding in our face. It's very easy to do. There's videos online. Just the short version of it is, you want to disconnect your negative terminal from your battery. You want to wait at least 10 minutes, and then after that you can safely remove the airbag by using an Allen wrench on the back on one side, and then also on the other side over here. Okay, there's simply pins in here, and if I can zoom in here, you can see the pin inside this hole. Okay, so when you put your Allen wrench in from the sides, that's what you're moving. You can unlock one side and then you unlock the other. And again, after at least 10 minutes, you can do this and then have the airbag removed, and this exposes this whole area. So what I did here is I unclipped the connector. Okay, I just did that because I thought maybe I'd be able to get this a little freer, but actually you don't need to worry about that, because this is actually locked in with a plastic rivet. So unless you want to rip that out and possibly damage it, you really don't need to remove this part. What you're going to do is, if you have the buttons out, you're simply going to take a screwdriver, and what you want to do with the screwdriver is you're going to come into these whole areas here, push your wiring harness out. Okay, now it's going to be coming from down here as a factory. So as you can see, what I did is I pushed the wiring harness out with a screwdriver, and I was able to grab a hold of this with a pair of pliers. I did the same on this side as well. And once you grab a hold with a pair of pliers, very carefully because we don't want to rip the wires. Okay, you're able to remove this wiring, and this is for the bottom harness. Now originally this was tucked back up behind this plate here, which gave it a shorter run. So after I took this apart, I was able to get a longer tail to come out, install my buttons properly, clip them back in, and then reinstall this. Now once you do this, obviously you're not going to be able to put it back behind this plate. So in order to restore the airbag, all you're going to do is take your finger and tuck it up behind here. Okay, because the airbag does need to be mounted in these holes here. So we want to make sure that we have this out of the way. And again, you can take either a sponger, as I'm using now, or if you want to use a screwdriver, you can certainly use that. You just want to be careful not to rip the wires, obviously. But we want to get that just tucked up behind the metal plate, just like so. And tuck it in as neatly as we can. Now this will allow the reinstallation of your airbag, and if you ever have to change out the switches again, the top switches are have a little bit more lead to them, but the bottom switches are extremely tight. So if you ever have to change your switches out again, you now have this already set up, and it won't be a problem, and you won't have to remove the airbag again. It's sort of a one-time fix. So I hope this video helps everybody out there. Again, I had a tough time finding something, but sort of piecing together things, I was able to figure out a way to do this. So again, most important thing, make sure that you review a video on how to remove the airbag properly, and waiting the 10 minutes. You don't want that to explode on you. They recommend that you leave it on the passenger's floor face up. You'd never want to leave it facing down. But what I did here was once I removed the airbag compartment and the canister here, I didn't want to have it inside the vehicle just in case it still had some sort of electrical charge. It just plugs into this little wire here. That's all you need to do to unclip it and then remove it. I actually laid it out on a towel and put it on the outside of the vehicle just in case there was an accidental explosion or an accidental discharge of the airbag. This way there was nothing that I was going to get inside my vehicle. And again, I wasn't going to get hurt. So I would recommend that you put it outside the vehicle on a workbench, or even just laying it down on the driveway. But again, put a towel down. Make sure you want to cover it up. You can go ahead and turn your key on and test these buttons, as I've already done. And this makes sure that you have them properly wired. And once you're done, like I said, tuck these wires in best you can. Okay, and then you reinstall your airbag, and once you're done that, you're done. And again, you never ever have to worry about these wires on either side for the buttons on the lower control panel. You don't have to worry about those pigtails that connect coming out to being too short, because now you've lengthened them by basically cutting down the path that GM out of the factory laid in behind this. So I hope this video helps everybody. Again, I had some issues with trying to get them back in. Obviously didn't want to scar my steering wheel up, but again, They're now all blue LEDs, and I'm going to also be converting my window switches, which I've been not able to find a video on, because the window switches, these are the window switches here. Now these rocker buttons come off fairly easily, but these switches, they go up and down. Okay, you got to pull up or push down on it. I haven't been able to find a video of anything yet for that, so I'm going to be taking that apart. It looks like it should be just a circuit board fix and soldering in the blue LEDs, but hopefully I'll post that later, and maybe help some other people out that might have the same problem or the same issue. So again, this is the quick fix, or I should say the easiest way to not destroy your steering wheel, your buttons, and getting these leads again lengthened out so that you never ever have a problem. Okay, I hope this video helps anybody that's got a Chevy. It probably works for Ford as well, but again, watch the video on how to properly uninstall an airbag. Be safe in everything you do, and we'll see you soon on the next video. Thanks for watching.